Hello, beautiful world, and thank you so much for stopping by. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about this book right here. It is Cormac McCarthy, and the book is called No Country for Old Men. Guys, this book is something I would strongly suggest only adults read. It has a lot of adult themes in it. We are talking about drugs, money, murders, guns, you name it, it's all in here. So let's jump into it. We follow a gentleman by the name of Moss, and he decides to go for his morning stroll into the desert, and of course he sees something that's not okay. He goes to investigate, and he finds a whole bunch of cars in the middle of the desert, not a sound, not a peep anywhere. And at this point in time, it's really freaky the way the author manages to actually scare you a little bit for Moss. So at this point, I'm going, oh my god, let's just turn around and go, something's not okay. But of course, our friend Mr. Moss goes to discover what's happening. As we get closer, we see men on the ground. We see blood everywhere. We see guns everywhere. Holy cow, this is where I personally would turn my butt around and leave. What does he do? He goes and checks it out, because, why not? So, he goes through these cars. He finds there's drugs in the back. He finds a gentleman who is not dead. He's the only one that's alive. He asks him for water, leaves the guy, and he goes walking further on down. He finds another gentleman who is dead, but there's a stack of cash sitting beside him. I would be like, leave it and just go. Go about your business. Go home. Enjoy the day. Nope. Once again, we're going to pick this money up and we're going to take it with us. Smart move. So anyways, if that was it, it would be beautiful. Okay, he would have gotten away with it. Life would have gone on. But we got a good story on our hands here. So what does he do? He goes home. He puts this money under a bed and he goes to sleep, wakes up in the middle of the night, and he can't get this guy who asked him for water out of his head. So in the middle of the night, he takes a jug of water with him, and he goes back to this desert, and he goes to look for this guy who asked him for water. Well, guess what? All hell breaks loose. The bad guys show up, they start searching for him, they know he's there, he starts running, and they start chasing him, and he falls down I don't know what, trips and falls and ends up in the water and ends up swimming away, and they end up shooting at him. It goes crazy. Anyways, he finally gets away. He goes into a motel, and they end up finding out who he is, and they end up going after him. So that's pretty much the basis of it. Guys, there is a hitman after Mr. Moss, and he constantly finds him. He is constantly after him. There's always a sense of a chase. There is a sheriff and his group of people trying to figure out what is happening, what is going on. They're finding literally dead people everywhere. This hitman, oh Jesus, Murphy, he doesn't care who you are or what you're doing. He'll just shoot you, And the freaky thing about him is that so far, no one who has seen him has stayed alive. So just to give you a tidbit. For a little while there, he goes around chasing Mr. Moss. You're hoping Moss is, not going to be found because, we want the best for him. And then another, I want to say gangster. I have no idea who these people are. Gangster or whoever whatever you want to call them, hires another hitman to go after the first one. And I found myself cheering for this guy. I was like, okay, go out there, shoot this guy. And then I was like, wait a minute. They're all bad. What am I cheering for? So anyways, you have these dilemmas in here. You have some funny moments in here. Guys, the best part about this book that I found is how it's written. Now, I know I said in my previous review of how Mr. McCarthy, he writes lines without knowing who's talking, which didn't bother me at all in this book. I actually didn't even notice it. But the one thing that I actually loved about this book is that when he wrote these characters, when the characters are speaking, I thought I was down in Texas. I was like in my mind, like reading these words like they were like y'all and how you doing and whatever else they say down there. Anyways, I was reading this book and I thought I was down there with them and I thought I had the Texas accent. I was all in and it was so much fun. This book, by the way, is not fun. It's adventurous, it's thrilling. You always want to know what's going on with the characters. There is some really bad things that happen in here. It's you know, it's some real adult stuff. So, do I suggest you get it? Absolutely. This was much more high paced than his previous one that I did a review on called The Road, but this was a good book. Now, I do have to say something. There was a gentleman in my previous video when I did On the Road. He left a comment suggesting for me to read more of Cormac McCarthy, and he goes under Boxer309. You guys can check out his comment in my previous video, which was, I think, in December, if I'm not mistaken. And if you are watching, I cannot thank you enough. I really would not have picked this up without your suggestion. And I don't know, I'm so happy I did, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. This book was amazing. It's not what I usually read. You could probably tell back here. A lot of the stuff I read is like fantasy and stuff, but this, oh man, I felt like I was in like a Texas, I don't know, gunfight or something. I don't know. I felt like, you know, I was part of like these gang people, and oh my God, the shooting and just the rampage that they left, the disaster they left behind them. So, I guess you figured out my opinion about this. I hope you do go out and get it. I'm not kidding, guys. You're going to have a great time. Just to show you, this book is thin. Like when I say thin, I really mean thin. Fun to read, easy to read, really quick to read. There's nothing in here, like, you're just flipping pages. Just to give you an idea, before I did this video, I thought, okay, you know what, I'm just going to reread a couple of pages just to sort of get back into it. And I ended up reading like, I think up to like page 70 or 70, maybe even 80, something like that. Just within like a little while. It's super, super easy to read, but second time around, reading it, I got into it just the same. I really would suggest you guys go out and get it. Fabulous book, very well done, and thank you so much for the suggestion. I really do appreciate this one. This was a good one. Have yourselves a wonderful day, happy reading, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye, everybody!